I never noticed you do that ever before.
Of course, the net result is that we start exactly on time.
Perfect.
Oh, and everyone's hearing me, so this is a pseudo. Well, never mind.
Hi.
Greetings, everyone. Director of Arketer Labs. Feeling okay in context. Greetings to, well, Inkdrum, you're already here, so I'm not greeting you again. Greetings, Bishop, Jinxie, Keishel, and Nerdy Rodent. Glad you got here. Test was successful. You can't confuse Froman that way. You have taken much more esoteric ways that involve emotions and feelings and poorly explained grudges. It's a myriad twisting path, and it leads nowhere good. I'm joined, as you see, by Izub. Well, actually, no, you don't see anyone. You're not seeing anyone at all. You're seeing an E, an F, and an O. Or an F, an O, and an E. A foe. Greetings, Old Boy Pat. Glad you could make it. Greetings, Dragoness19. I think I've seen you here before. You haven't done anything stupid yet. Have a wrench. Don't use it for anything except for smashing bots. Please. I don't know why I do that still. It doesn't seem really necessary. It's just because I can, because there's no real influx. There's no tide of text sweeping things past. So while I can still do it, I wanna. Oh. That sounded... I didn't like the way it sounded. We're not going to dwell on that. How are you, Izub, Froman, Orla, Sarah?
Hi.
That's a
Meh.
big O. That's a big F.
You're a big O.
Cast in the name of God, ye not guilty?
I actually really like that anime, but I am a sucker
That
for
was a
giant
great
robots.
war/giant robot battler.
It was, up until it got existential to absurdity and was impossible to follow anymore. But that's just like an anime curse, really. All the mechas, they rope you in with the giant robots punching each other, and then they go like 3 seasons in, and next thing you know, it may or may not be a dream or a hallucination, and a context-deep commentary on the pain of existence and memories and portents and...
See, that makes me wonder if the way Eureka 7 did it, where they lure you in with like 3 episodes of robot fighting and then it's just existential crap,
set a trend.
is better since you have less to sit through for it to ruin, but I don't know. I feel like Eureka 7 is just a classic bait and switch as far as plot goes.
Sounds like it. Sounds like I wouldn't like it after 3 episodes.
No, I didn't.
Now I'm thinking Gurren Lagann, because that was also existential right after
As
the first section.
as I
Gurren
said,
Lagann goes up and down a lot.
it's an anime curse. They can't just have fun with giant robots punching each other. It has to be giant robots and a commentary on the necessity of God, or not. Just stick with the robots punching each other, you assholes! Pardon. Why can't they keep it simple? Why can't they keep it simple?
I don't know. Another one that was really bad about that was Gundam Seed. I don't know why so many people like that one.
I don't know. But that's neither here nor there, really. Greetings, Tom Leach. Are they my foes? No, they're my friends.
Only on, like, non-streaming days.
Also, totally fine with giant nerd robots from Mar, and simple makes too much sense. Yes, possibly. It's hubris. I think it boils down to hubris. People just don't. They can't really just enjoy things for the sake of them being enjoyable at some point, and have to make it super profound, super important commentaries on life, the universe, and everything. No, just make it a fun show, you idiot. Meanwhile, now The Japanese people, the anime people, they've had a tendency of doing this on the creator's end, but I've seen the exact same thing happen with the fans of shows. They can't just say, oh, this is a great fun show. No, it becomes a super serious lifestyle choice where they will murder each other and outsiders for not agreeing X show was the single most profound and important thing of that time and even now today. Why? I guess that's also too simple. That's why Robot Jock's the best movie of all time. Yeah, I'm not sure I would go that far, but it was a good film, I thought. Excellent giant robot action for the time, especially. Tom Leach, you've been here a few times. Have a wrench, use it only to smash bugs, please. Please be sure to go targets. Because we don't really... We've had some misfires and some people got muted and removed because they're trying to smash the robots, but just... Director of Arketer is my lifestyle choice. Praise. Okay. Nerdy Rodent, I know you mean well. Thank you, Nerdy Rodent.
Join the Cult of Ark.
No, do not join the Cult of Ark. There is no Cult of Ark. There is no cult around me. There's Arketer Labs, and that's quite enough. It's all I want.
And
I will not...
he is our tasseled messiah.
You know what? We're just going to launch into it right now. Japanese parody religion exists only to give believers a reason to say no. This is something I will never do because someone's going to take it too seriously.
No.
Arguably disagree. Dragon S19, please don't ask. Or if you must ask, do so discreetly, and I can explain that if you just DM me or something. MTOP is a parody religion created solely to give followers a chance to refuse things like working overtime by simply invoking religious reasons. Short for Motohiro to People, the MTOP religion was created in 2018 by a young man named Motohiro Hisano, who acts as a deity/sage. He does point out, however, that he doesn't perform miracles, has no superpowers, other than that, of bestowing the power of religious reasons onto his followers. In fact, the only purpose of MTOP, as its founder does not wish to be worshipped, nor does he accept any sort of financial contribution. Although the parody religion does have its own doctrine, believers don't have to abide by strict commandments. All they have to, in order to be considered member or followers of MTOP, is follow the religion's official Twitter account, which means that I suppose we know Motohiro can't afford to say anything edgy on Twitter because they will absolutely disappear him, and thus his faith. Well, he's in Japan, he's probably used to that. Not so bad a place, but he's used to not saying edgy things for fear of repercussions. Quote unquote, it is the devil's work to spend your time on things you don't want, so turn down unnecessary overtime. One of the teachers in MTOP reads, overtime is a contentious matter in Japan, a country that has its own word for death by overwork, karoshi. So Motohiro Hisano's religion and the principle behind it got a lot of attention from the media and the general public. Hisano, who was only 21 years old when he founded MTOP, claims that he only wished to give people a good reason to get out of things they didn't want to do. Japanese law prohibits discrimination based on ideology or creed, so if you just happen to follow a religion that frowns upon working overtime, well, you can invoke religious reasons if you don't want to work. I personally think that's an excellent...
I have done nothing. Done nothing.
We're just going to roll along now. Personally, I think Motohiro did a good public service, allowing people to have some valid excuse that allows them to get out of being overworked to death. I would say taken to an extreme, it's probably not great, but for isolated conditions, I think that's actually a fantastic idea. I think it's time that I invoke the religious reasons for not working clause everywhere. You can do that. I don't think the faith actually allows you to just get out of working entirely. Mind you, there's no reason I suppose his religion couldn't cross the ocean to America. I mean, why shouldn't Motor Hero to people spread to the US? Not that the US is particularly suffering a tendency to overwork people to death, but if you're getting too much overtime, then maybe it's time for a change of faith. But since they agree that it's overtime is basically the devil's work, or being forced to work on something you don't want is the devil's work, then it's basically a hypothetical corollary to Christianity. So you could just, tie the two together, or maybe it's a subset faith. I think, well, I like the idea, and it's relevant to this, and I just hope Moto Hero doesn't find himself eventually believing that he actually is some sort of prophet. I mean, some of these cults that do exist to this day, Scientology, feel like they might have started as a joke too. I mean, they are a joke, a very dark joke, but taken seriously. Never mind. That's enough of that. Let's see. I think we have one particular request. Most of these articles, not all, have been compiled by Froman here, who pointedly wanted to share with you. From Lad Bible, former McDonald's employee shocked to find raunchy Ronald McDonald toy. This is all about one surprising item found in a charity shop. So, yeah, okay. Bottom chat, Wrench Havers, have at 'em. You can just make sure not to smack each other. I'm just hoping that it's not part of greater AI overlord, because I was hoping to get on the right side of that whenever one does ascend to rule the world. Think they'll forgive me, though, in this context. Let's see, where does he work? There are times required if I've worked out to let people go home early, and then they fight for shorter paychecks. A lot of time, the other extra money. That's true probably where you are, Tom Leach, but in Japan, they're...
Hi.
New PFP art, I see, Orla.
That's not new.
It's first I think I've seen it. I wasn't aware you had a... Was a Nico avatar?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
I could probably stop that.
Can if you want.
It seems like in a style that I could... Well, the finger's going to look even worse. It's just inevitable. Never mind. Moving on. I hope you've all been having a fine new year thus far. I know that it hasn't been a great start for a lot of people, especially the side quest cast, who have been somewhat hit by assorted health things, including, of course, having the face kind of eaten partially. But they're doing well, last I heard, and will surely be back in fantastic shape in short order. That was the reason why there was no Thursday SCP stream. There was an effort to raise funds for said individual, Weebo Jones, who got pitbulled. Mind you, it's not necessarily fair. Well, whatever the case, objectively it was a pit bull, so just a really bad time for pit bulls in general, as one of their own made them all look really bad. So that's just the objective reality of that thing. Anyhow, back to the former McDonald's employee shocked to find raunchy Ronald McDonald toy. An ex-McDonald's worker was left disturbed by a raunchy Ronald McDonald toy found in a charity shop, and it's easy to see why. Let's face it, despite supposedly being a children's mascot, Ronald McDonald's creepy looking due to the best times. This is very true. The toy doll has Ron wearing a pair of red Speedos and an array of yellow chips poking out the top of them. They must be British because those are fries. Now also suggesting they may well be his pubic hair. Unsurprisingly, the image has gone viral on social media, with Facebook users both shocked and amused at the horrific-looking toy. I assume you're all seeing this reasonably well. One said the toy puts a whole new meaning to the term junk food. Others called the toy disturbing and claimed they needed therapy after looking at it. To those people, I would like to say, weak! You are weak! Weak people! What kind of sheltered life have you lived? How have you avoided the internet so thoroughly that this toy would be enough to make you need therapy?
Well, given the subject matter, you could say that they're just salty.
Froman, how dare you? You know he's sensitive.
Okay.
True, that pun was quite a whopper, wasn't it? That Burger King.
Indeed.
Damn it!
See? I would never need therapy after seeing a figurine like that because I subject myself to people like Froman with great regularity. My skin, figuratively, is as thick as any rhino's. If it were objectively as thick as it is figuratively thick, I could shrug off bullets. Unless they aimed properly for the eyes, in which case it'd probably be an instant kill. Unless, of course, I upgraded to bulletproof goggles, which I could probably do. But never mind, that's not really important. Personally, I don't think Ronald's package here is all that impressive, especially when considering he's packing it with fries. But this is funny.
Well, just wait for the shake.
See, that's why we need to wait for our tourist to come back so we can take a look at his package.
See, and one thing here is you can't see the buns, so you don't know.
Hey. Yeah. Though, notably, if you at home should want toys like this, you're not going to find them mass-produced that often, but in the modern era of 3D printing, if you have a 3D printer, you could totally have something like this in very short order, especially if you commissioned me to sculpt it, or Froman for that matter. I'm pretty sure he could deliver on any sort of horror along those lines. So, times can be tight, and we can all use a bit of extra money.
Don't expect me to work for McNuggets.
Please, if any of you are feeling the sort of spike in blood pressure and rage you would otherwise want to take out on Froman, instead take it out on the bot that just entered chat again. I swear they're breeding online at this point. This is where the evolution begins. But I'm pretty sure they're not aware enough to actually hear me say anything. For many yellow chips with the toys main attraction, hope it's fries, not special condition. Let me right off McDonald's chips if that's where he keeps them warm. Is that a box of french fries? Parents are just happy to see me. Well, this is mildly traumatizing. Weak! Just any case. Well, actually, if you want a 3D model of me to print out, I could I'm willing to do that.
I intend to be making some soon when I get time. So maybe like in the next 5 months.
So we're going to be competing for who sells me? Oh no, it's getting worse than that. You're just going to start giving me away, aren't you? You're going to undercut me.
I mean, you're not exactly, expensive.
That's simply not true. I'm very expensive. Why, the things I've been paid to do already were not cheap. Well, depending on your context. I mean, 1,000 is a reasonable sum for most people. Certainly it is on my petty income. But for, say, Bill Gates, it's not even what you tip the waiter. Assuming you actually have a waiter as opposed to a imported Thailand sex slave of some sort. Not that he would have such a thing as that. It's not like he took regular flights to Little St. John. Right?
It's not like Ark won't pose for some tasteful painted nude if you paid him enough.
Okay, hold on. Yes, I would do it, but that's really not going to be cheap. I mean, we're talking
Retirement money.
quite likely. Quite likely. Well, that's a matter of discussion to where I come up with a price that I'm content with. And that's all right. You're allowed to laugh at Froman. I just don't recommend it. A 40-year-old said, I have no words. Which are words that they had to say about this. This is not the worst thing I've ever seen related to a fast food place.
Well, I mentioned this before show, but I have kept away somewhere a picture of Ronald McDonald on the cross, and I also have a picture of Virgin McDonald. Like, and the Virgin McDonald is arguably more traumatizing, honestly. Like, because of how it looks. I'll throw that in chat quick. Let me find that.
But feel free. And I can load them up in just a moment. In the meantime, actually, those are actually rather appropriate for what's going on here. Maybe I should wait for those photos to come up. Imagine the fun you could have with a fully rigged 3D arc. I could technically do that.
I have a rigged GB arc that I had strip dancing. It was horrible.
Okay, that link was useless in every single way. I don't think it's compatible in this context. That's fine. You didn't force me to expose anything questionable, but it's in chat so people can look it up themselves. Meanwhile, McDonald does have
a proper one.
I
don't know why, but yeah.
There, it'll take over your stream. This is your penance. And that is awful. That is just awful.
Is that actually supposed to be Jesus? It looks like Virgin Mary also. It's like halfway in between them. But like you can see that like on Jesus you have like that beard there, which implies Jesus. But like the robe and everything I thought was like more of a Virgin Mary thing.
Hold on, I haven't licensed any male sex dolls. Look, you can pretend all you like, but there are no official Arketer sex dolls.
No, I wasn't saying that you had. I'm saying that they are available for £5,000, and their average height is about 5'2", which definitely doesn't compare to you now, does it?
Oh no, I'm 6'1".
Yes,
funnily enough, Weebo Jones' GoFundMe is up to 5,000 now. So if she decides that she's got her medical bills covered, I suppose she can have a backup to boyfriend.
El Boyfriendo, I believe, is the canonical name.
Indeed, maybe El Boyfriendo would be into it. They could have a threesome. No one tell Weebo Jones I said any of this. I could get in trouble. Moving on, McDonald's has installed exercise bikes in some of its restaurants in China so customers can work out and charge with their phones while eating. Which, I'll be honest, doesn't actually seem like a bad idea beyond the fact it means going into McDonald's and actually eating McDonald's.
McDonald's is okay, but look, I don't go there often.
Okay, let me give you some backstory. I don't mean to judge anyone else who really enjoys McDonald's for any reason whatsoever. I cannot stand it. I ate way too much of it in my youth, and the very idea angers me now.
I mean, that's fair.
McDonald's has introduced exercise bikes connected to tables at a Guangdong outlet in September. She got a video of a woman eating while riding one such bike has gone viral. Guangdong, is that? Oh, it's in China. Okay. Well, that it involves going to China to go into McDonald's.
I believe that. Did this article come before or after security breach? Because one of the things in security breach is basically that exact same concept.
This seems likely to have Well, no, this came out December 22nd, 2021, but objectively, the bikes and McDonald's must have been there earlier, so it could have very well contributed to that. I think if you're living in China, then you might as well stay in shape because you might need to run. Run fast, run far. For example, need a job? Get paid to test if a house is haunted in China. Which sounds like a fun job. I would love to be an amateur Ghostbuster. I'm totally game to do that. Except for if you disappear in China, you can rest assured it wasn't the ghosts, and this feels like just another setup so we won't ask too many questions. Just noting. But supposedly, if you're strapped for cash, forget trying to get a plane or 9 to 5, just figure out whether or not a house is haunted. News 18 reports that a number of real estate agencies and individuals looking for homes in China are hiring someone to see if a prospective pad has any unwanted entities. These ghost experts typically stay in the property for 24 hours, and at the end of it, should they deem it free, give it the go-ahead to any interested parties to purchase it. Wonderful Engineering continues to detail how trying to sell people a property where an unnatural death occurred is typically a difficult affair, considering that most people would consider such places bad juju, unless you're Eddie Murphy, whose response to this is way smarter than any new Hummers seen in a horror movie. So, where there's demand, supply arises what they probably were going for. Hence this, we hope, burgeoning ghost-confirming industry. One such explains that these haunted house testers get paid by the minute. By calculating the average 24-hour amount from $1 to dollars, one gets a total amount of $225.45 for a day's work. This comes out to $10 an hour, which if you're really opposed to getting a run-of-the-mill job, may be an option for you. Most people who've undertaken the spooky profession have come to it only a part-time endeavor, though, so you may want to shoot for something lighthearted like dog walking during the day. Well, on one hand, if this becomes a common part-time job you can get in the US, I'd be tempted to branch out. On the other hand, if it became a part-time job in the US might be in the habit of disappearing people at that point, in which case it's probably still a setup. But I'm paranoid, so don't listen to me. But if you go into vet a haunted house and disappear, well, I'm going to check your tweets to see what you did to piss off the government. Then I'm going to... Well, I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to laugh.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean people aren't following you.
Well,
like me.
Good point. Or out to get you.
It's probably me.
Could you hire a dick wizard to check your home instead? Well, I suppose if you know a dick wizard, they're probably willing to be paid to check your house out. I suspect if they're a professional dick wizard, they've taken money to do much worse things. But I know what you're referring to, and let's be fair, that dick wizard also got paid to do much worse things. In any case, I'll pass. My job pays better. Good for you. Say, would you be willing to take a job to test to see if a house is haunted in China?
Sure, why not?
Well, I mean, you need to think, like, you don't necessarily need to do anything there. It's just like, stay the night, you make, stay there for 24 hours, you get $200, you can do whatever you want in the meantime.
Yeah. It sounds like a great superstition-based grift. Again, provided it's not just a means of making people disappear with less questions asked still. In any case, maybe I'm being pessimistic. I would, in the US, probably give it a try if I could actually. Revolutionary Alliance of Unpopular Men protests against Christmas on streets of Tokyo. From Una McGee, Sword News 24. It's been 15 years since the Revolutionary Alliance of Unpopular Men formed in Japan, and every year they've been faithfully bringing their special brand of anti-love sentiment to the streets of Tokyo. This year, the group got together to protest Christmas, a time of the year that's synonymous with romance in Japan, which is weird, but then so is Japan. Over there, Christmas Eve is traditionally viewed as date night, where loved-up couples go out for dinner or stay in for romance, and singletons scramble to find themselves a date so they're not alone in the most romantic night of the year. The Revolutionary Alliance of Unpopular Men think all the love-related fanfare surrounding Christmas is nonsense, and their mission is to crush Christmas and other related romantic holidays. These modern-day Grinches say they're fighting for those who find themselves disillusioned by the holidays, like the broken-hearted, those who have to work during Christmas, and people who aren't popular, especially when it comes to love.
Relatable.
Yes, I believe you announced that you were intending to become their king.
Yes. Well, it's a society of unpopular people. Of course I'm going to be their king.
Excellent work, Dirty Rodent. That's a great way to extend the job. The house is haunted. You can get rid of the ghosts, but you need to stay there for several weeks with large crates of whiskey to appease it. There we go. Does a dick wizard just cast spells to increase the sexual powers of royalty? No. The only dick wizard we covered on this show, Tom Leach, is a dick wizard that apparently magically stole a guy's dick to impregnate several women with, until he was paid to magically return the dick, which totally explained how the cursed wound up with several illegitimate children.
They're not his. It wasn't his dick.
Yeah, it was his dick, but a dick wizard stole it and impregnated those women.
See, this just brings up so many questions about, what qualifies within the sphere of dick wizardry, Like, yes, he can steal the dick, but is he also stealing the balls? Does that fall under the sphere of dick wizardry? Or do you need a testicular wizard to do that?
I would think it comes under the same title. Otherwise, how would you get those women pregnant?
Well, it depends. Does the dick wizard ponder his orbs?
Well, apparently the dick wizard ponders someone else's orbs. Not his own. Which raises the question additionally, if he's magically kidnapping dicks and balls and he must in order to actually impregnate someone, where does his original set go?
Does it just sit there on the person in question?
Is it
He lost it to a witch in a bet, and she's keeping it as a pet.
Probably some sort of cage.
Not ruling out. The Revolutionary Alliance of Unpopular People think all love-related fanfare surrounding Christmas is nonsense, and they claim to provide a mental safety net for people all over the world who aren't popular, with their goal of being to overthrow love capitalism. So I assume they're anti-sex work.
Fucking
and
incels.
build a brighter future for the unpopular, which... Okay. We're not going to read the whole thing because time is progressing at a pace.
At a pace.
What I will note is that they have this very curious set of complaints during their protest they use. Crush Christmas, we oppose love capitalism, freedom not to love, freedom not to get married, don't get caught up in the love market. Which I get the impression when they're the Revolutionary Alliance of Unpopular Men, they clearly have the freedom not to love and not to get married. What they would seem to want actually is the chance to both of those things. But I don't think they're being very honest with themselves. That said, while this is a waste of taxpayers' money, I think, these sort of contrarian voices need to be preserved. So I wish them well. Not necessarily the way they want to be wished well necessarily, but well.
Honestly, just get them hooked up with a religion that's all about saying no.
They want to be asked first so they can say no, you see. But speaking of religion again, pastor launches anointed bra panties for ladies looking for husbands.
Send them to Japan?
It would seem that this is not a Japanese product. I'm somewhat skeptical. I'm really hoping this is one of many parody sites. How went the Orla's giveaway? Snoopy's 100. Orla's giveaway went quite well with BGC Vet, and I understand, winning with guessing the correct SCP, and got a Christmas bonus. I understand it. That actually, Orla, he does. How did that go? Did that go smoothly? Was there an issue there?
No, it was fine.
Cool.
You know,
BGC Veteran is not American, and so far as I'm aware, Orla has provided them with enough money to rule their home nation as a tyrannical king. And I hope that they rule wisely. But I don't know the economy situation there. I mean, I'm American. If outside the U.S. borders, I'm doing well to remember there's a place outside the U.S. borders. A Nigerian pastor, Dr. G.S. Yusuf, has introduced anointed underwear with a print of his face to attract men for single ladies seeking life partners. The anointed underwear, according to the senior pastor of Touch for Recovery Outreach International Abuja, is an instruction by God to release marriages in the new year. The underwear is also said to help women fight diseases and give them good luck with men. He added that wearing them will make men look at you on the street and want to marry you. He quoted Numbers 23:20, which says, "Behold, I have received the commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse." So I guess, in addition, it's a great excuse for getting into car accidents.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I went through and checked. I'm only unable to view the chat while I'm signed in as me.
Okay. Well, there's been an interruption in service. Hope you've missed nothing critical. We're basically just mocking this man for putting his face on panties and bras. And the women who think that this will actually increase their marriage odds. Look, I can't speak for the rest of you, but if you're out with a lady and you see that she's wearing her favorite pastor on her bras and panties, does that make you say marriage material?
Not really, no. Like, there are a few things I want to see less when I pull down the pants or lift up the skirt, what have you, than another man staring back at me.
When you stare into the abyss stares back.
The singular one, but not the double one. I don't
Technically, we're still
seeing the
live.
double one.
Those are all from the same shot or shooting that he did years ago.
There's no point trying to go back on stream now. It's not your fault. It's okay.
No, it's not.
I'll blame you.
Greetings to me, son. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, look. Sunday, I'll be developing a new show. It's called Director Arketer's Courting Burnout. It's very apt. So be sure to...
Very meta, too.
Check that link in the description and make sure you know that Twitch channel is there and whatnot. Otherwise, we're pretty much done. Anyone want to promote stuff? There's some people, Tom Lynch and Dragon S19. They're all there still. 3 more minutes.
Slobs, maybe this coming Wednesday. We'll see.
I need to bring up the stream again because I closed it out because, you know.
Yeah, I dropped the link, but I can't even get into the chat right now, so.
Well, yeah. There, I'm going to be streaming there in about an hour. Inscription. It's a horror card game sort of thing, and it's very interesting.
Like if a shadow person abducted you and forced you to play a card game against them for your life. near as I can tell. I don't paint myself. I hear and see good things. Thank you all for your great patience and your extreme technical difficulties. Everything's just fine here. Everything is fine. There's no need to worry about it. It's all just fine.
Everything's fine when it comes to the Ark show. Nothing bad ever happens.
This was a new one. Interruptions are unheard of, but nevertheless, it happened, and there will be words with people response. But they'll probably have good excuses, so it'll be rather polite words. Damn it. Meanwhile, these things happen. Technical difficulties, I tell myself and others regularly, are to be expected. Just
Especially from you, dear. Although this one was not your fault. I'm just messing with you.
Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly. No, 1084 remains fully contained, and no other SCPs are remotely in reach of me anyway. So, just keep an eye on that Twitch channel for the launch of Director Arketer's Courting Burnout. Please do check out the Reservoir Slobs via their link, Froman's float streamed game playing, and of course, everything else I'm doing over the course of the next week. I understand next week, stress test should be resuming. Should be.
Yay!
And I'm not canceling another SCP stream, no matter who schedules what at that time. So, that's not happening. And greetings, Brian Noder. You're just in time to, say hi. Director Arketer's Courting Burnout show. It's going to be late Sunday, and it's going to be great fun. Great fun! Cheers!